All right. In this video, we will learn about the CSS box model. Basically, in HTML and CSS, when we are working with HTML and CSS, each and every element, like the HTML element, is basically a box. And we have seen that before as well. So if I just go to the code, not the code, in the browser and go here, and as you can see, whenever I am selecting something from this DevTools, so this H1, for example, is the form of a box. The H2 is another box, and so on. So the list items are box as well, and this input also the box. This checkbox is also the box. Okay, so this is basically that, like everything inside of the HTML and CSS is a box, and we have to work with that. So we have to structure the boxes by using CSS, and in that way we can have a decent looking website. So this is basically that. So it is quite simple. So we have the documentation for the CSS box model on MDN. You can go through that. Or what I prefer this documentation, which is the CSS box model by the W3 schools. Okay, and here is a very good picture of the CSS box model. So what it is saying? It is saying each and every box in HTML and CSS have the content. Then we have the border, right? But between the border and the content, we can have some spacing, which is padding. And outside the border, we can have some spacing, which is called margin. So here is the definition, like the explanation, which is really great. Basically, the content is the content of the box where text and images appear. Okay, padding clears an area around the content. The padding is transparent as well. Border, a border that goes around the padding of the content, which is very, very important. So we can have padding, we cannot have padding as well, but the border always goes around that. Okay, and then margin clears an area outside the border. So margin is outside the border, and the margin is transparent as well. Okay, so we can see that in action as well. So what I can do, I can go to my code. Okay, I can go to my code, and for the H1, what I can do something like padding of 20 pixel. Don't worry about the padding and the margins, we will definitely learn about that. Okay, and margin of 20 pixel. So if I just save and go to the browser, now as you can see, there are some spaces, but more importantly, whenever I am selecting the H1 right now, so there are 3 different colors showing. First of all, okay, let's add a border as well. So that will make a little bit more sense. So border, we can do 2 pixel, solid, and salmon color. Okay, all right. So if I just go here, now we have a border. So if I just inspect that, so as you can see, the blue box is the content box. The green space, the green box which we have currently here, it is indicating the padding, and the orange-ish, yellowish color box, which is indicating the margin. So, and also inside of the computer tab as well, as you can see, here is the diagram which is generated by the DevTools, which is very, very good. So as you can see, we have added the margin here. So it is the margin, which is 20 pixel. Then we have the border. Okay, and then we have the padding as well, which is 20 pixel as well, and the border is 2 because the width of the border is 2 pixel. So this is the content as well here, this blue box which is indicating the content. So this is basically the box model in CSS, and it will be very, very handy to understand the box model because we have to manipulate these like the margins, paddings, borders like quite often while building up the websites, okay, by using HTML and CSS. And this is the foundation theory to do so. So basically I can show some other things as well. What I can do, I can just comment it out and I can just show it to you, the star which we had previously, like the selecting all of the things, and I can add a border of 1 pixel, not 1 pixel, 2 pixels solid and salmon. But what I'll do, I'll just make the opacity a little bit lower, save and go to the browser. And as you can see here, what I was saying previously, like everything is a box and we can see that in action basically. So this was a span, basically this is a span, right? This is another span as well. So this is a box, the h1 is a box, the container of this, it is a box, these links are a box, and so on and so forth. So basically we can see each and every box by using this particular border, applying this particular border. And basically we will learn about these borders, paddings and margins in the upcoming videos. Okay, so this is the introduction of the box model, and we will learn about the paddings and margins in the upcoming videos, right? So this is the box model in CSS.